What is up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we're here at the Nerd Castle for another episode of Craft the World. In the last episode, we had dealt with some major problems. We had some big invasions that were back-to-back. They had wiped out a couple of our dwarves, but we did eventually kill off all of the nasty goblins that are over here, which is a pretty sweet thing. We need to put down that sign that we just made so that we can advance further down the tech tree. So let's just do that now, and then I'll break it right after I do it. Essentially what this sign does is it says don't go past here. So if the dwarf's AI gets to like right here, it'll see this sign, it'll be like, oh no, and it'll head back home. The dwarf will instantly know from this smiling, happy looking slug thing that bad things are over in that direction. We've got all of our beds installed, and I tested them. I gave them a test drive overnight. Not me personally, but I commanded all these gents to do it, and it restored all of their health in a very short amount of time, which was exactly what we were looking for. Everything else has been built. We've got the smithy up. I've stocked 2 tables with food in case they get hungry. We've gotten our 7th dwarf in between episodes, and so now what we want to think about doing is getting at some of this iron down here. I'm going to put that down right there. And we're going to start mining this direction to get at some of these goodies. There's both coal and iron here, and I want it all. It says somebody's drowning, but it says that all the time. The dwarves don't like to cross water. Weirdly enough, those giant beards, once they get sopped down with water, it seems to drag them to the briny deep. Let's go to our crafting tree because that's going to be our main focus during this episode. We've done all of our gathering. We've gotten all of our things done. And so now it's time to move this thing along. For the chair, we need planks, and I think planks are found right here. We're only going to make a couple of them. We only want to make 1 chair. I want to get to weapons. That's all that I care about in this episode, is we want to make a huge, ridiculous lunge towards getting, you need a workbench. Oh, I forgot to put my workbench back down. Damn it. Or did they not even break the workbench? Where's the workbench at? What happened here? I broke a workbench down up there. Did it actually destroy it? That would be an interesting thing to see. So let's make a new table. And once you've got a table, you can get rid of that. And I have to go to the crafting tree because I don't remember how to make a crafting table. There is our workbench. Oh, it says we've got 2 of them. Well, then I must have just forgotten to put it back down. And then we've got another table to put food on, but we're going to need that later on anyways, once we have a bunch more dwarves. So that's fine. We're not going to be putting beds down anytime soon. Maybe put the workbench in, well, I don't know, maybe mine this out a little bit further, or just place it right there. We'll put, yeah, that looks good. We'll put the food right next to the workbench, so that while they eat, we want to remind them that the Workers' Party of Dwarflandia requires them to always be working. So even as they're eating, they're like, I should get back to work. The master wills it. Alright, so mining's going on right there. The workbenches should be back down very shortly. Then we'll get a chair done. Once we've got the chair done, let's have a look at the trajectory of our research. We need the window, we need the chair. What's blocking me off from getting weapons? That's all that I'm worried about right now. It looks like leather stuff is way down there, so we've got a long way to go, but it looks like they're actually all mutually exclusive from one another, so they all don't require each other. There's a wardrobe and there's some other nice things, and I would like these tools along the bottom. We can make steel, interestingly enough. Is that a steel club? Oh, so there's actually not even any iron gear. You just go straight to steel. Well, let's smelt some steel then. That's going to take a ton of coal and a bunch of iron. This could be a major roadblock. We could actually, in this particular case, have a major limiting reactant when it comes to creating iron for, or making steel for ourselves. So we've advanced to the steel age now, which is pretty sweet, but we don't have enough coal to go much further. Let's make a fire arrow while we're on this part of the tree as well. I want to advance at least 5 tiers in this episode for each little area. They're gonna have to craft that. We'll make some fire arrow. We have like 1,000,000 resin. I know we've got loads and loads of resin. So we'll make ourselves a handful of fire arrows. Let's go back to the crafting tree and see what's up next. We had an entire episode where we really got nothing done. What is that, rails? Oh, we can make minecarts and things. Interesting. I don't know how that's going to work out. I may have to track down a tutorial. I've never played around with the minecarts in this game. The wooden chair should be up next. Have we put those down? Okay, those haven't been put in place yet. There's a bit more XP. Anything else to be aware of that's happening right now? I know that they're going to come back pretty soon. We'll break that sign down, get it back. Cast a light spell right there to make sure nothing terrible happens. I may just kind of hollow that out right there. We'll make a big basin, maybe fill it with water or something. I don't know. But either way, I know that I want all of this right here. I desire everything in this region so that I can make more steel. Obviously enough. I think I'm going to speed up time for now because we're not doing anything super productive. And we also want to whack this top layer too, if we can get away with it. So that we can have as much iron on hand. Coal is what we're hurting for though. So while I'm mining out these dozens and dozens of iron nodes, I am way, way more concerned about getting my hands on coal. I may also make an outside structure to go around these little areas, and then at that point we may possibly bring all this stuff upstairs, and then I can actually put in a wooden floor to make everybody more comfortable. We've killed off another poltergeist. Snails are roaming around. And our construction work seems to be going fairly well in here. Put in another ladder right there. There we go. In there, it looks like we've got termite colonies. So that's a problem that I'm not going to open up for myself yet. We can deal with that later. However, how much... I don't recall, but there's zombies in there. How much coal was left over here? We had a lot of gold, a lot of silver. But I think we had more or less, más o menos, gotten to all of the... Oh, there's freebie beds down in there. I should probably go grab those too. Well, let's continue down the tech tree before I think about it any further. We're gonna make rails. We're only gonna make one. Let's get the iron ore in there. There we go. There's our 3 rails. We'll set somebody to work crafting those. And while the remainder of all of this gets chiseled out, we're looking pretty good right now. I'm happy with our progress. I don't know what that little thing is down in there. We saw one earlier. It looks like a dust moppet of death. Like a dust bunny of doom. It's just a very, very angry. It's a dust bunny with daddy issues, from what I can tell. I'm also going to focus on... I can't go after the backgrounds here, because if I do, we'll lose our protection bonus. But I do want to get all the coal out of the background. See if we can at least make it to steel tools, though, pretty soon. Oh, I have to put the rails down. God. Well, we're going to have to wait on those. I like it. It's labeled craft. Like, just specifically, in case any of the dwarves didn't know what that was used for. That's a big hammer. How can we... That is a huge, huge mallet. How come we can't just use that to bludgeon our foes? Little things to think about. Little errancies. Or inerrancies. I don't remember. Whatever. Can't remember right now, and I don't have a dictionary handy, and I don't want to use one anyways. I don't feel like reading today. I do my best. It's one of those things that I do. I try my best to read one essay by some philosopher or something a day. Just like a little 5-6 pager. Just broaden my horizons, because I always feel like I'm a little behind the curve when it comes to learning... learning... fancy educated stuff, I guess. A climber book. Make you climb a little bit better. Got an invasion coming in pretty soon that I'm not excited about the prospects of having to deal with. Because that last one was really, really icky. Let's keep moving. I want a steel mace before the rest of this gets here. We can make a... What is this? A shield? A shield con skull. Need some more planks. Let's do it. Let's make some shields, but let's make some planks first. I don't remember what the plank recipe was, so let me go over here. And planks were hidden right there, and it was 4 bits of wood. I also don't remember how many planks you got when you saw this stuff. Oh, you got 2. Okay. Let's go to 20 planks right now. I want to conserve wood because the trees aren't regrowing just yet, and I don't want to have any crazy teleport operations going on. And with 2 guys tag teaming this stuff, we should be in really, really good shape. I like how everything's animated in the background too. I've said in the past that Decavir is known for making little card games like Solitaire and stuff for your cell phone. Like games that typically don't bring much acclaim. Games that are looked down on by the gaming community for casual type people, but they've done a really good job in their usage of mechanics in this game. I'm really pleased with Craft the World. It's one of those games that I bought sort of on a whim one night. I had an extra 10 bucks sitting around and I was like, well, an extra $14.99 if I'm honest. An extra $14.99 sitting around one evening, and I was bored. I wanted a Sandbox game, and so I grabbed this one. And I haven't looked back since. The only downside is that because I'm doing an LP, you only get one save game, I think. And so I haven't been able to play on my own. This is the only time I get to play Craft the World, so it's shared with you guys. I don't have any opportunity to learn anything outside of playing the game. That's my one complaint. Multiple saves maybe, but that might already be a thing. I may just be ignorant of it. It wouldn't be the first time that I was ignorant. I'll leave it there. I'm ignorant pretty constantly, so... A constant state, but I believe that's what Socrates said anyways, is a wise man knows how little he knows, yeah? But there comes a pretentious argument there, but what if you're pretending to be ignorant just so everybody will then think you're wise by virtue of that statement? You constantly talk about how little you know just so people will be like, well, Socrates said, and then just kind of inherit that wisdom all on your own. Little thing. There's also an extra step to that statement, I suppose. I've always thought about that. There's a wooden trap. You could put down traps? That's pretty badass. And cages and scaffoldings. And what else do we have here? Wooden bridges, decorative mirrors. I'm not too concerned about any of the decorative stuff up top, so I may ignore all of that till further on down the line. For now, I want to get here. I want to get to leather armor, leather shoes, because we've been walking around barefoot. It's getting a little nappy up in our dwarf holes. Although I would assume that a dwarf's hole would always be semi-nappy. And so when you picture a dwarf's hole, it can't be that great. A hole of any kind that's attached to a dwarf has got to be at least somewhat gross. What do we need here? Bones. Okay, bones are going to be right there. And we've also got iron ore. I don't know how many shields we can actually make because I don't know where they're equipped. So maybe I'll start by building one first. Did I use up... Oh, there we go. So that iron there. We'll make a shield. And that first shield, let's equip it on somebody and see where it goes. I don't know if maybe it'll use up... It might be that spot right there. I've been wondering what that is. It doesn't have a label. Or is it a decorative thing? Does it go on a wall, maybe? I don't see it listed in any... It's got to be a decorative thing, then. Let's go to our crafting menu. Oh, it needs to be crafted. Okay. We'll wait for it to be crafted, then. I don't know who's gonna get on that. Come on, guys. Oh, there it is right there. It's listed under furniture. Okay. So yeah, you do hang it up on the wall. It's not actually a real shield. Well, that's whack. That is whack and weak, and I hate it. I wanted to have shields on all my dwarves. In that case, let's hang this thing up so that we can actually move down the tech tree instead of being stagnant. We'll put it over here in the armory. That seems like a pretty sweet place to put a bony shield of Skullitude. Skullitude and Totany. You gonna hang that thing up there, pal? What in the hell? I have no idea. Maybe I canceled it or something on accident. There we go. So we've hung up the skull shield now. Let's get back to our crafting tree, and let's get some steel clubs made. A steel club, what's that gonna cost me? Just wood and iron? Oh, I thought I was gonna have to actually use steel for it. Glad I didn't use up all my iron then. We're gonna make 7 steel clubs. In fact, I'm gonna make a few extras too. Let's go through our equipment menu, and hopefully these do way more damage than our previous clubs do. They've got protrusions, so I think they will. So one there, one there. Repetitive actions, go! Ah, my carpal tunnel! There we go, and so that's now been done. We've got a guy here, Thorin, who needs to find himself a little bibbity-bobbity of sleepity. Where's Thorin at? Not you? That's Hamilton. Bomber, Hane. You slow down the action for a moment so that I can actually select these guys. Aminus, Dwayne. Very plain name for a dwarf. Tevin. There he is. I bet this is him. Let's tell him to go sleep. Go to sleep, Thorin. You're drunk. Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit better about our equipment situation now. Should be able to fight a little bit better. Let's focus on getting some better tools, too. We need to place those tracks. That's what was holding me off. I will close that down. We'll go to the crafting menu. Put that down to replace that. And we're going to place it right there. There's no reason to place anything else. We'll just place it right there. We'll break it the second we place it. Okay, there's our 20 free XP. And then next we've got a... what is that? That doesn't look like a pickaxe. That looks like a switch of some kind. A railroad switch. It's going to require a nail, 2 bits of wood, and some more iron. I'm glad we found that iron supply early on in the game because the amount of iron you go through with just random usage is pretty heavy duty. I think I took a heavy duty once. Immature jokes go! So hopefully somebody will craft that up for us. There he is. He's already on it. Most of our beds don't even appear to be used right now. I know you're still going back to get some sleep, right? Okay, good. And everybody else is relaxing. Maybe I should tell everybody to go... yeah, everybody go snack down that's low on food. Talking about coffee or something over here. Send him to get some food shortly thereafter. Select that dwarf. Tell him to go eat too. I shouldn't be having to do this all by hand. They tend to do it on their own, but in this case they haven't been doing... well, there's food missing. Maybe they have, but I thought the zombies ate some of that too. How much did that help his food? Oh, wow, that did great. That was a filler-up situation. He has eaten himself to the brim, and pretty soon he's going to drop that switch. Never mind, he's not going to drop the switch. We need to tell him to drop that switch. Go over there, assign it, and we'll tell him to drop it right there. Oh, it's not going to allow us to do that until he deposits it in the pile with the remainder of our stuff. 2 minutes remaining until our big invasion skirmish here. You have to put it on rails, it looks like. So we shall do that indeed. Ah, there's coal over there. So let's get going. Let me slow this down for a second. And we'll dig into this coal over here in the case that we need more steel. The rest of our guys all appear to be idle. That's fine because we're spending our time moving down the tech tree anyways. And now we can make good stuff. So we've got an iron pickaxe. We want to make a bunch of these. Like 10 of those to hold us over till later. I'm going to go through and give those to every single dwarf so that we're no longer using our upper Paleolithic tools of failitude that are breaking every 3 seconds when we're mining anyways. The extra pickaxes will be kept for the new dwarves that we get. I don't think we're going to get too many more than 10 dwarves. It seems like there's sort of a soft population cap there that keeps you from getting much further. Okay, so everybody's equipped with good stuff now. And since we're out of iron, I'm going to tell them to continue mining out some of this stuff down here. How much quicker is that going to be? Probably a lot quicker. Yeah, that's what I like to... actually, don't do that one yet. You're going to need these ones. We'll tell you to do those. There we go. And so let's F3 away. Grab as much of the remaining iron as is remaining. Also coal, because you never know how much you're going to need to stoke the flames. The invasion is coming. So let's slow down the action. And it looks like it opened up on the right side of us this time. And we did get a beholder. So he should vanish at some point. I'm interested to see. I really want to see the efficiency of our new weapons. As with any group of people who grabs a new weapon in between here, there, and yesteryear, when you get yourself a new weapon, it becomes pretty stoked. Or at least I become pretty stoked about being able to test it out. Looks like we just got a bunch of skeletons this time. I'm not terrified of that invasion. That invasion is better than it could have been. We'll let them come slowly. And the remainder of our mining needs to get done over here. We're going to try and get at these upper reaches of coal. I don't want to waste any of the supplies here. I want them all to be ready for us. And it's going to take them a little while to get... I mean, there's a lot of them piled up on there. And he's about to have a really, really bad day when he climbs up that hatch. He does have armor, though, so maybe he'll be okay. Let's look at our craft tree for a second and figure out how we can work our way towards... the wall skin rug. What is that going to cost? Leather. Okay, I thought that was poo. I thought that was manure. We also need needles, strangely enough. I don't know where we get the needles from. Interesting. I may have to track those down. You would think that needles would come from something like these plants over here, maybe? Well, his weapons don't hurt that much more. He's getting almost a full heart, though, when he swings on somebody. And we are going to lose a dwarf here. So down he goes. But the combined firepower that we're able to put out here should keep us safe. That invasion was not as bad as what I typically expect from these things. Iron tools being put to the test and doing quite well. Looks like they do a little under 1 heart's worth of damage, which is better than what we had before. The other ones did about a half a heart, maybe a little bit more, like a 0.6 of a heart if you could divide up your heart into decimals. We lost a dwarf, so he should be back in 5 minutes. We'll re-equip him with the refuse left over. Let's go jump that guy right there. Let's go see what happens when we attack a beholder. I don't think I've ever fought one before. I've had them spawn, but I usually ignore them until they just go away. So we're going to send all of our dwarves off that way to hit him in the face with blunt objects, which is exactly... That would suck if he's over here. He tried to come to our realm to escape from the skeletons, and they ended up just sort of being... Oh, he looks like he's pretty tough. This could be a major issue for us. I think we might all cowered out and run away. Let's give him, our archer, let's give him the fire arrows. There we go. Maybe you just put him in right there and he automatically uses it. Is he firing fire arrows? No, he's not. Okay, we'll put that in right there. There we are. Oh wow, that killed him quick mode. He didn't make it at all. We defeated our first invasion. That went really, really well. I wish that if he defeated the boss, you got a bit more time to play with. He's cheering and doing something. Hell if I know. And so now we just wait on our final dwarf to respawn. Let's have a look back down at our mining project here. Should probably drop a torch somewhere in there so that I can see. Remove that ladder, and you'll see why I'm going to do that in just a second. I do have a plan at hand here. I'm going to put a hatch right here so that I can mine out the walls, and I won't lose my coverage bonus for my town being underground from our totem. There's one big zombie left, but that should be fine. They're bringing back the few remaining pieces of our fallen. I do wish you could put in gravestones or something that would commemorate the dead. There's somewhere in here. I've seen it before when I've been panning through all the different menus. It does have a location where I think you can see how many casualties you've had. But for now, let's figure out where we get a needle from. Is the needle down another one of these lists? I don't see a needle listed anywhere. Which means it might be a drop from something else. What that something else is something that I'm going to have to look up in between now and the next episode because I can't let our crafting tree get waylaid by the fact that we don't have a needle. Let's look around the map for anything that might drop a needle. We've killed those already in plenty. Try harvesting those possibly and seeing if those drop a needle. And have a look at the surface. Anything that looks needly. But as of yet, nothing looks needly, so my adverb is created in falsity. Yeah, I don't see anything that looks like it would give us a needle. So I guess I'll have to figure out how to do that. So I'll break off the episode here. My name is Splattercat. Since we've hit an impasse, I don't want to play too much without you guys here. I'll track down what makes the needle, and in the next episode, we will make the needle. We will make all of our leather armor, and we'll get our society firmly into the medieval times. Take care, everybody, and I will see you in the next episode